You've heard me in the past call it Snow White and the Seven Dirty Hippies. We'll change it to the Dirty Bandits. That's right, it's not Smokey and the Bandit, it's Snow White and the Bandit. And that is apparently what Disney is going with. They're also going with a new Blu-ray celebrating Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, perhaps because they realize they have a dumpster fire in their live-action reboot. That's not all, folks. It's going to get worse, and you're not going to believe what Snow White might be in this new Rachel Zegler reimagining. Hint, hint, get ready, the Socialists. All right, folks, welcome back to another video that this time I have to say is a wee bit humorous. And we are laughing at you, Disney, not with you this time. Joining me to talk about it is Michelle of Force of Light. Welcome back.
Yes, good to be back. Yeah, that's becoming more and more common, it seems.
It's unfortunate for the mouse, but it is what it is. And we'll see how they handle this one. Because guess what? Here's the latest rumor. This out of Sci-Fi and Fantasy Gazette. Snow White is looking like it's going to be delayed. Here's what we've got out of Josh Wilding. If you've been on X lately, we bet you've seen claims Disney's live-action version Snow White has been canceled. Unrelated comments from lead star Rachel Zegler had already been manipulated to create more ill will towards the movie, and this seems to be part of an effort to spread misinformation. As we first explained in Toonado.com, it all started when a parody site, Mousetrap News, posted a story claiming the studio had pulled the plug on the controversial remake. So let me go back and retrospectively fix that first paragraph. People got tricked by satire. It's not part of some concerted effort. It's just people, they get tricked. Still, despite what you may have seen, Snow White has not been scrapped by Disney. In related news, though, former Hollywood Reporter editor Matt Baloney has published his latest Puck newsletter and suggests the movie, currently scheduled for March 22nd, 2024, will almost certainly move off that date. And folks, we've got this article in the video description. Click on that link if you want to read the rest. But I do go to our esteemed panelists now. Michelle, is it any surprise at all that this film now needs massive reshoots, and because they can't reshoot during the strike, looks like it's going to be delayed? Are you shocked? Can you just barely contain your amazement?
No, not at all, because this just seems par for course with Disney. They seem to do, and I know most movies have reshoots. I get it, but they seem to do like quite large amounts of reshoots with all their movies. So this is not surprising at all.
I really thought, though, that this one, of all the movies Disney has done, this seemed to be going so well that I'm flabbergasted that they have to go back to the drawing board and fix these bandits. I cannot believe it. I thought the costuming was excellent.
I know it's such a shock that they need to go fix this movie in particular.
It's something special. It makes Captain Kangaroo look good. But let's take a look now at another article. I think this gives us some indication that Disney may be feeling the heat when it comes to the desecration of their original animated classic. And don't forget, folks, that the original director, his son, who is 91, has come out and said that his father and Walt, both of them, would be spinning in their graves if they knew that this was happening. So perhaps Iger et company feel a little bit worried about this. So here's what I think is their reaction. This coming out yesterday from blu-ray.com. Don't see an author attached to it, but if there is one, we'll definitely give credit. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 4K Blu-ray. Disney has announced that it will release a 4K Blu-ray, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The release is scheduled to arrive on the market on October 10th. And apparently those dwarfs are not so controversial and so deplorable that they can't be put back out on 4K. Amazing. It goes on to give a description of the movie. Folks, if you need a description of Snow White, time to take a class in Americana. This will be the first time that the classic film has been made available in stunning 4K Blu-ray as part of the Walt Disney Studios' continuing major restoration program using new scans of the original nitrate negative and with the creative input of Disney animation experts Eric Goldberg and Michael Giamo. So they're going to do this. We can see the little metal encasing that it'll have. And I think that this is perhaps a way for them to try to undo some of the damage that they're getting from these classic Disney fans or just flat out film fans, film aficionados who realize the desecration that's happening to the original thing that set Walt onto his career path. So, Michelle, do you think that this is response? Or do you think that this was already set into action and it just happens to be coincidental?
Well, that is a good question because you would think that they have to have these things kind of planned out ahead of time, and especially since they already have imagery of what it's going to look like. So they probably already kind of had it planned to come out, like knowing that, especially before the strike, knowing that because originally this movie the new one was set to come out in March, correct, of 2024.
Yes, and still is officially slated for them.
Okay. Yeah, I bet they probably already had this in motion, just trying to get this out before the movie came out because I mean it's a smart move. It's a classic film, and there's definitely people that enjoy collecting the 4K and especially those kind of special what are they called? The still book or whatever.
Oh yeah, the little milk encasing, yeah.
Yes, like people really like collecting that. So I mean it was wise to do leading up to the release of the newer one.
What do you think about the juxtaposition of these two items though? You have one that's the classic being revered in this way, and the other hand you've got Rachel Zegler out there proclaiming that the original Snow White is a movie of its time, that it is no longer appropriate for modern audiences. What do you make of Disney's juggling act?
Yeah, it almost feels like a battle of like two different marketing teams, like an actual marketing team putting out this movie because why wouldn't you? It will make money and you already have the movie anyways. And then the other one that's like, yeah, say this because this is what modern audiences want to hear. So it kind of sounds like, yeah, there's competition even in-house, or not competition, just conflicting messages.
The only other possible explanation I can come up with is that Rachel Zegler honestly wants to be more disliked than Brie Larson, and she is on a mission. That's all I mean, what else could you come up with, right?
I mean, it's been quite the campaign. Well, it'll be interesting to see if it impacts the Hunger Games prequel at all.
You know, that's actually an interesting question. I've seen some reporting out there that people are beginning to think that even the TikTok generation is turning against her and that it could impact that film. So, wow. I mean, to get people to dislike you at that level and at that age with the low level of interest that they hold and the low level of enjoyment they have for things of the past, Rachel Zegler has really made an accomplishment. You've got to give her the accolades she deserves. They're not the kind of accolades I would want, but she is earning them. Take a look. There's that photo right there of her in the Hunger Games. What a fantastic looking outfit she has on.
Can we appreciate President Snow, or what soon to be President Snow's skirt?
Yes, well, you know, there's all kinds of issues in Hollywood, and maybe it's a kilt. We'll give it to them so that we can handle that in a future video, folks. But John Trent is the author of this, and there's no skirting around this issue. Rachel Zegler, Snow White, rumored to be an independent liberal socialist that leads a revolution against the evil queen. She's probably a capitalist. All right, John, tell us what we've got here. It says a new rumor claims that the upcoming live-action Snow White starring Rachel Zegler will see the character depicted as a liberal socialist who leads a revolt against Gal Gadot's evil queen. The latest rumor comes from Scooper My Time to Shine. Hello on X. And folks, before you get out there and say, it's just a rumor, you know, My Time to Shine actually has been pretty good on some of these scoops. Are some of them wrong? Sure. Are some of my scoops wrong? Sure. Because you're talking about something that is a future product. It does not currently exist, and humans are in charge of changing that to try to make it as good as possible, you would expect, before it hits the marketplace. And so sometimes those scoops happen, sometimes they don't. You try to have a high percentage. Just like at the end of this year, I will have all of the videos in my rumors and leaks audited to give myself a grade from an independent third party. I think that if you look at My Time to Shine, you're going to find that it's a pretty good track record, honestly. And I follow these sorts of things. So we give this some extra gravitas. Here's what it says. The people that save Snow White in this version are called bandits. Perhaps it is Nieve Blanca and Los Banditos. Jonathan, the male love interest who isn't a prince, is also a bandit. The bandits are like Robin Hood. They steal from the queen to feed the poor. Snow White herself is an independent, liberal socialist in this version, and with the bandits, leads a socialist revolution against the evil queen. Now, here's what I, let's put the socialist thing aside for a moment. Michelle, look at those dirty hippies. I mean bandits. Bandits, sorry. Look at those bandits. beyond the fact that we need Buford T. Justice to please drive into that field right now and get them all, the other thing that I would say is exactly whom is the love interest here and how in the world does that happen?
Yeah, okay. So we actually talked about this on Toxic Femme one night. I believe there is another picture where the actual love interest is in. I don't think he's one of these. There's
He's trailing
another.
behind, right? There's an
Yes.
There's an
Yes.
eighth bandit apparently.
There is.
Prince
Yeah.
Uncharming.
Because there's no one out of this bunch that I can pick.
Oh, look at the options. They are just plentiful, plentiful, I tell you. Well, this is apparently a socialist movement. So, when there is equality and equity, perhaps they will all be in a giant bandit relationship. We don't need to get into how that would function, but we do need to say,
Well, I was going
Michelle,
to say on that Snow White was originally a German fairy tale, and I mean there was this rather well-known group that eventually took power in Germany.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that the big baddies of the last century were socialists?
I mean, yeah, history does bear that out.
Oh my gosh, I've figured out what the acronym means.
Yep. For his audience is figuring out what I'm talking about now.
I think so. All right, and folks, if you're enjoying this video, don't leave yet to go play that great game of Yahtzee. Stick around. All right, Michelle, let's talk about the socialist aspect then, which you're right, this is a German tale, and now it's a German socialist tale, and well, that is messy in every possible way that Disney probably doesn't want. But hey, it's a culture. What do we say? Is it a culture conflict? It's not yet a full-blown war. Who knows? Share with me why you think that having Snow White be a socialist revolutionary fighting against what we would presume to be a perhaps capitalist monarchy is a really, really bad idea.
Because again, it's just Disney continuing to put their politics into their movies in a way that's very obvious at a time when there was a time in this country where audiences there would be things that annoyed certain political sides of the spectrum, but we just kind of were annoyed and moved on. And that time has come and gone because they're no longer subtle. It's very in your face. And that just doesn't seem wise to do, yet again, to be divisive in messaging to a movie that should just be a very simple fairy tale marketed towards little girls.
Michelle, I have a ponderance here, if you will. Just thinking about this. You said that this is Disney's politics getting out in front of its skis, perhaps, right? Damaging the audience reception. Question for you, because I've thought about this now. That would presume that Disney's politics are socialist in nature. Bob Iger is on one of the nicest yachts in the world. It's his yacht. Is that a socialist yacht?
Well, I've noticed that with socialism, the people that usually promote it the most don't usually. I mean, that's the great thing about this country. I mean, they could give their money away freely if they want, but I've noticed the ones that promote it usually are very wealthy and don't ever seem to share their wealth.
Isn't that interesting that it's either the very wealthy or the very poor? Now, I'm not saying that if you're in middle class, you can't be pro-socialism, but isn't that interesting that Disney is a giant corporation sucking up all the money it can from people who go through its turnstiles at Disney World and Disneyland? Disney, which is so heavily interested in, shall we say, investments from institutional investors, BlackRock, Vanguard, etc., they espouse these sorts of political viewpoints, but behind the scenes, I'm not sure that they actually believe them. And I think that may be what is catching up to Disney is the fact that maybe audiences are realizing that Disney is hypocritical.
Yes, because I mean, and if you like socialism, I guess you like socialism, but I mean, historically, it usually creates a two-class tier, the ultra rich and everyone else.
And let's just say that German socialism, probably not the way to go if you're doing a fairy tale. Probably a big faux pas.
In fact, as we were doing this video, I thought of what they're probably reshooting the ending. Since it is a German socialist story, I actually think the end is going to have Indiana Jones coming back through time to now take out Snow White and the bandits.
Okay. Folks, I'm now on board with this. This could be the redeeming thing that saves Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I don't know what we're going to call this new one. But yeah, I'm fully on board now. All right, folks, we can't do any better than that. We're wrapping right now. So if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. The conversation comes to a close, but the commentary begins. Would you like to see Indy fighting against not only snakes and the evils of ancients, but also perhaps destroying Snow White and her efforts to bring about the third? No, we won't say it. We won't say it. And also, folks, make sure to check out Force of Light. The link is in the description down below. Excellent content. Michelle, tell us what's coming up on your channel soon.
Yes, I've been doing several trailer reactions recently, but coming next week will be our first time watching reaction to Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy.
Wonderful. That is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
folks,
it is.
Make sure you go check it out. Absolutely. And don't forget that the Pro Show is Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are watching this video at the time of its release, well, it's almost time for the Pro Show, or the Pro Show is going on. And we are tackling very spicy issues and controversies today that actually push me out of my comfort zone a little bit. We're going to have to be extra careful, but we'll have Andrew of Legal Mindset joining us to help us navigate through these topics with major legal ramifications for Hollywood, Disney, and beyond. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Clickbait. Fraud. Drama queen. Ugh. I wish there was a channel that was 5 to 6 minute news reads without the drama, frauds, and clickbait that could accurately let me know the current news, providing my crucial context utilizing all the different That Park Place contributors and creators.
Well, stupid. There is. It's the That Park Place YouTube channel, which will be going live real soon, so make sure you're subscribed so you can really stick it to the algorithms.
You're joking.
Nope.